You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. Why entrepreneurship is key. You know what? This is just why I do this channel. I don't get that. I don't get as many people on here as I would probably like, but that's okay. That's okay. It's all about the wolves, the people really trying to do something. Because the thing about being an entrepreneur, it gives you some control over your most precious commodity, which is time. See, that's why people work hard to become wealthy, so they can have time. That's it. That's the whole point of making money, becoming rich. It's not to work all day. In fact, you'll find there's some people, they work 50, 60 hours a week, and they wonder why they're not getting any place. Because your time is taken up. Your time is taken up making somebody else rich. And one acronym for a job is just over broke. Because you realize you're so busy making someone else rich, you don't have time for yourself. Because think about, if you work a typical, just an 8-hour job, right? Usually a lot of jobs they don't pay for your lunch break. So that's 9 hours right there. And unless you live next door, you spending maybe, let's say, another hour just in a commute. And people know it can be even longer than that. There's a lot of people commuting longer than that. So, right, I say an hour commute each way, right? Roughly. Especially if, depending on where someone lives. So that's 11 hours right there, and you got 24 hours in the day. And then if you get in regular sleep, I'll say very few people actually sleep 8 hours. I say 6 hours of sleep. All right, so that's 17 hours out of 24 right there. 17 hours out of 24. So basically, you got 7 hours to yourself. And people might say that's a lot, but what you going to do during that time? If you got a home or something, you fixing it up, cleaning up around there. If you got a mate, you guys, some people try to spend at least 15 minutes having sex with them or something. If you got kids and they into stuff, you got to take some time. You got to go to their events. You don't have a lot of time on your hands. One thing about being an entrepreneur, it's about getting time. It's about having some control over your time at least. Now, an entrepreneur, honestly, it don't automatically just give you free time. But it gives you time to work for yourself. It gives you some control over it because you can set your own hours. It's up to you. You instead of like working 8 hours, hey, you can work 16 hours, whatever. But it's your time. And it gives you the beginning of a method to become wealthy. Because the more you do, say you have a business or something, you can actually get it to the point where you can get someone else to manage it, and then you have free time to do what you want. You just collect the money. Like I know a lot of people who into real estate. They don't necessarily manage their stuff. They'll buy the stuff, get the homes and stuff, and then have a management company do it. I've dealt with a couple of landlords who did that. They'll have a management company take care of the property, giving them free time to do something else. So there's a lot you can do. Now, maybe not at first. You probably have to work hard to get there. But still, it gives you a fighting chance, And that's very important. In fact, my next video, or podcast rather, on this subject is going to be about passive income. And how that's how that's very important because of the time factor. In fact, let me write that down now. Hold on. All right, yeah. I had to, because I want to get into passive income. But see, even to get there, you still got to do something. You still going to have to work. to even get passive income instruments, whether it's royalties, whether it's doing videos on YouTube, whether it's buying stocks and bonds, whether it's the ability to buy property or something. You still got to make the money. So the first step to me, I mean, you could probably do it with a job, but it's actually better if you're an entrepreneur. Now, if you get a paying job, hey, don't rush out and get that. If you got a job paying you enough and you can put it into some other stuff, yeah, all means do that. It's the same path. But I would still say, in most cases, like, to be honest, most jobs, 75, only 25% of the population is even going to make over 50,000. And people, you got a lot of people talking about, oh, that's low, it's low. It's like, okay, stop comparing yourself to the 1%. I'm sure there's a lot of people shopping in a Walmart now wish they had that much. And I'm just being real. A lot of people, the amount of people who are leveraged out here is actually quite high. It is quite high. So, but entrepreneurship is very important. It gives you time. It puts you on the path. And if nothing else, it allows you to at least own what you do for a living. That's what I say about that. You still got a choice. It still gives you some control. Because here's the problem with working with someone else. Ultimately, they got control over you. Like, I just read something about, like, the retail apocalypse. Yeah, that thing. But I'm not going to go over that here. But you think about retail, because I've worked retail. The amount of control they try to have over your life is incredible. They want you to come in whenever and all of that. It's very hard to do stuff if you got to work on someone else's schedule. And even though I use the standard 8-hour week, as you get up there in any job, you working more hours. Whether it's, if it's an hourly job, how many people have, like, they ready to go home, but somebody doesn't show up, or, there's some overtime to be had, something to be done. You end up working more than 8 hours. And if you're on a salary job, just forget it. You putting in more than 40. Okay, you doing all this, and like I said at the beginning, how are you going to, you only get so much time. And remember, now, the example I used earlier, I said about 11 hours dealing with the job, 6 hours of sleep, leaving you 7 hours. But then how much of the remaining 7 hours you just trying to get ready for the next day? You talking another hour probably or something, just getting ready, just calming down, getting ready and something. So now you got 6 hours just to do whatever. But, and that's doing for somebody else. You ain't making yourself rich. But being an entrepreneur, you can pretty much have the same schedule. You can pretty much have the same schedule, but you have control over it, and then you could budget yourself quicker, because even when you're working with someone else, you still, even in how you do things, because they're going to tell you when to go to lunch, when to come back, and then you got to deal with office politics. If you're an entrepreneur, boom, you get at least control over that. And then, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of it, right? Getting control, and ultimately it is about that time. You want to have as much control over your personal time as possible, because then that's the beginning of freedom. If you look at situations where you've had like people stuck on jobs or something, I mean, it's almost akin to slavery. They paying you some money, you coming back and everything, but they got control over your life. They gonna tell you when you gonna go on vacation. When you going to take off. They're going to dictate how much time you spend with your own family. Let's just be real. They dictating it. It's like, got some place y'all want to go? Have fun? Depends on whether or not you got to work. So, the key to having your own time is being an entrepreneur. So anyway, I want y'all to think about that. Talk to you later. Peace.
later.